Hi everyone, my name is Sammy and I love parasitic plants. I love them so much that they're the focus of my research here at U Chicago. Now, when I tell people this, their usual follow up question is what is a parasitic plant? Which is fair, most people haven't heard of them. And I hadn't either until I went down an internet rabbit hole one night while preparing grad school applications. So, a parasite is an organism that lives on or in another organism called the host. The parasite benefits from this relationship while the host is harmed. Parasitic plants parasitize other plants. They do this by growing specialized roots that reach out and burrow into the roots and shoots of their host plant. There are about 4,500 species of parasitic plants in total, and some of them are pretty normal looking. Although they grow on hosts, they're still able to produce their own carbon, which is a necessary nutrient for plants. We call these hemiparasites. They're usually green and have leaves and are just generally pretty stereotypically plant looking. One example of a hemiparasite is mistletoe, which is a plant you've probably all heard of, but most people don't know that it's a parasite. Here you can see it growing on a host tree. And this one here is pedicularis, specifically Pedicularis densiflora. This is the plant that I study, so it's really near and dear to my own heart. The group Pedicularis is extremely diverse and beautiful, and a fair amount of research has been done on its evolutionary history and biology, but very few studies have been done investigating its parasitic nature, which is why I decided to make it the focus of my PhD. So those are hemiparasites, but some parasitic plants are even more extreme. And these plants are called holoparasites. They don't produce their own carbon, so they're entirely dependent on their host. And many of them have lost their stereotypical plant features. So this is Rafflesia, also known as the corpse flower. Some species can grow up to a meter in diameter, and they look and they smell like rotting meat. They have no stems or leaves, they simply grow straight out of their hosts, like the creatures from Alien. This is Hydnora, another holoparasite. It looks to me sort of like a demonic melon. They have no green parts as well. It's just a really crazy looking plant. Now, some parasitic plants can only grow on one or a few species of host plant. They're really picky, so we would say that they're host specialists. But other parasitic plants can infect a wide range of host plants, and we would say that these parasites are generalists. So let's say that there's a generalist parasitic plant that's widely distributed across a big geographic area. The host plants that it's parasitizing will probably be different in different locations. And over time, different populations of the same parasite can become so specialized in a local host that they themselves develop into entirely separate species. It's this process, host use as a driver of evolution, that really fascinates me. So Pedicularis densiflora, the plant that I study, is distributed all around the Central Valley of California, which is a pretty large area. No one knows what host species it parasitizes or if its host use varies between populations. Over the past few years, I've traveled all over to California to look for this plant. I dig up the roots to determine the host species, and then I collect the leaf tissue that I use to analyze the differences in DNA between different populations. So, are populations of Pedicularis densiflora starting to diverge into separate species? And is this connected to their differential host use? I'm only just now starting to analyze my own data, so hopefully I'll get answers soon. And I look forward to sharing the results as I learn more. In the meantime, I hope that you've enjoyed this little glimpse into the world of parasitic plants. If this piques your interest and you want to know more, or if you're a scientist and you're looking to collaborate, please reach out to me. Thank you for listening.